Hi everyone, it's Dominic with This Girl's Word. I know it's been a minute since I posted on this channel, and I promise you I have not forgotten about you. I have a lot of content that I want to create, and some things that I've already created that need editing that I will be working on. A lot of stuff has just been going on in my personal life, and I haven't had as much time to dedicate towards the TGW family, but I did not forget about you. I have content, I have videos. We're gonna be rolling out in the later half of the year with a lot of content more consistently. I'm in the process of rebuilding my filming area in my studio. I'm honestly in the process of redecorating my entire apartment, so that has been taking up a lot of time. And then I do have two other jobs besides the This Girl's Worth channel. So I have a 9 to 5, which is really a 9 to 7, and then I have another business as well. So I just want people, if you think that I have ignored you, I have not. I've seen your comments. I want to take the time to respond to your comments when I get an opportunity to do it. I saw that there was some love on my channel, and for anyone who has shown love, has left a comment and haven't gotten a response, I promise you I'm not ignoring you. I see it. I want to give thoughtful responses. I don't like to respond to things quickly. Some of my responses will be in video format. There's a gentleman on my red pill video who commented that he wants me to talk about why I disagree with the fact that men are more logical than women. And so there are already lots of studies about that particular topic, but I think just on a basic generalization level, there's a lot that I can speak to that. So I'm going to address that in a separate video about, whether or not men are more logical than women. And I think in certain areas, yes, and I think in certain areas, no. And so we'll talk about that and why I come to that conclusion. I also have another video that I wanted to address whether or not feminism is for Black women or not, which I think is a really interesting topic. I'm interested to see the response on that. My personal opinion on it may be a little bit different than the mainstream because I personally do not identify as a feminist. I used to identify as a feminist. I went to college. I studied in some of my classes feminism and what it actually means. And after studying it, I realized I was not. And I think that we sometimes get introduced to information and we get the tidbits of it or we get the benefits, right? It's like a salesperson. They handle political movements a lot like salespeople. I didn't mean to talk about this too long because I want to keep this video under 5 minutes, but they talk about politics like salespeople, right? And if you've ever gone through a salespeople, they love the highlight reel. Oh yeah, buy this, especially the furniture shopping, everyone sells the benefits. But then I always go in with specific questions, and the more questions I ask, the more I get let down. So it's kind of that way with social movements. You don't want to just take something on the outside or the surface and say, oh, I agree with it, you want to study it. So as I studied it, I recognized I was not a feminist. I don't knock people who are feminist, but I think that some people should seriously evaluate what they want for their life and whether or not feminism aligns with that or if the ideals of feminism align with it. But my critique on social movements would probably be very different than most people because I also have some very strong criticisms of some of our racial social justice movements as well. Anyway, I have some videos coming up talking about this kind of stuff. And I also have some videos I wanted to talk about, like actually finding, I have a video and I have a new format that I'm going to be introducing soon. And it's going to be like a podcast type of format, but on YouTube. And the reason I want to do those, they're going to be called late night conversations. So these conversations, just to put myself in the mood, I actually only film these conversations at night. So these kind of conversations I film sometime in my bedroom at 1, 2 a.m. Me just talking about stuff. I talk about my criticisms of Red Pill. I talk about femininity, my criticisms of femininity movement, my criticisms of feminism. I talk about my criticisms of the church, all those different things as well, just from my experience and my perspective, also where I'm learning in my journey. So stay tuned for that. I don't think I'll be able to hit under the 5-minute mark, but one last thing, I just want to give you an update. Some of you might be wondering how I'm doing. Maybe not, but I'm gonna share it anyway. So, I've been doing okay. I think I recognize, and this impacts my schedule as well. I recognize that my mental health was declining. I'm not saying that it has completely declined. I think I'm still in a better position overall than I was 2 years ago or even before then, but I realized my mental health is declining, and the first place it always shows up for me is in my sleep patterns and in my eating habits. And I started noticing for like a good while I was like eating normally, right? Like eating normally, just eating healthy, but just being, just that's normally how I eat anyway. I'm one of those people, like, the more processed it is, the more I don't want to eat it. I have my few foods here and there, but generally I eat pretty healthy. And I started noticing that I was eating one meal a day late at night, and it was always something like really super heavy. And I stopped wanting to eat healthier foods. Like, I didn't crave my green juices anymore, or like my smoothies, or any of those things that I normally would eat. So I had to start questioning what may have been happening, and then I think it took a toll in my relationships and how I was interacting with people. I think I noticed my mental health was declining because I started feeling like I needed to do things to make people feel loved. And if I wasn't doing those things, I felt like I wasn't showing my love, and people's opinions of me started to really affect how I saw myself. And so, because I got to that place, I do what I know how to do now that I have been through therapy and I have gotten my toolbox ready, is that I withdraw so that I can focus on myself. And, anytime I ever do this, a lot of people in my life are always affected by it, and they feel like I'm acting weird, but I'm not acting weird, and I think if I could leave anything, with you, I mean, I could probably do a bigger video about this, and I'll do a bigger video talking about codependency because I've always been meaning to do it and I haven't. You shouldn't have to perform love. People should not feel less loved by you, or that you care less if you're not doing all of these things to perform love. And I think I've had some bad relationships in my life that have taught me that in order to be good, or to be good to someone, you have to do things. You have to express your love by doing and giving all the time. And, you know, or when people misrepresent you with how they view you, that you need to over explain yourself. And I've gotten to a place now where I'm kind of focusing on the inward parts. I mean, I always feel like I'm growing and working on myself. I don't feel like you get to a place where you're like, oh, I'm stopped working on myself, I've arrived. I think your whole life you're working on yourself. But I think I got to a place a little bit where I was putting my perception of myself in other people's hands, people who were close to me, because I cared about the way that they saw me and the way they viewed me. And it was taking a really negative toll on my mental health because I was performing. And I have to be really careful because that's my default based off of my experiences, to perform. And the thing is, genuinely, it starts off with good intentions. In the beginning, I want to be loving. In the beginning, I want to be giving. And then at a certain point, it stops feeling like something I want to do and starts feeling like an obligation. And then when it starts feeling like an obligation, then it starts to mentally, emotionally, physically wear on me. And then, when it's not received or appreciated or acknowledged, and it's not that I'm like looking for acknowledgement, but when certain conversations are had and then people say certain things, it's kind of like the way that I'm bending over backwards is not being appreciated. And then I have to start asking myself, why am I bending over backwards? Like, why do I feel like I need to perform in order to make people see that I am a kind person and a caring person? Like, I naturally am already these things. So I will say this. It's not that I won't create content, because I think this is a great time for me to create content, because then I'm sharing what I'm learning as I'm going along. And I also like to share the victories and the failures as well. So there's a ton of videos I need to. I forgot to create a video of, I broke no contact, but no contact. So my narcissistic ex contacted me, and I responded back. So I need to do an entire video talking about that as well. Like, what happened when no contact was broken? Do I regret it? All that different stuff. But I just realized for myself that my biggest community right now is me and my relationship with God. And so whenever I am spending less time in my relationship with God and more trying to prove myself, then I'm in a really dangerous position. So I'll talk about that a little bit more. I'll talk about my codependency and how it shows up, because it shows up in familiar relationships, it shows up in my friendships, it shows up at work, it shows up everywhere I go. It shows up somewhere. So I think that it could help a lot of people in understanding. Even if only 2 people watch it and get something from it, I'll be happy to share about it. And codependency is not a good thing. We're not the victim here. So that's one thing I also want to share to people who maybe trying to understand codependency. Is like, we're not the victims, and we have a tendency to look at ourselves as the victims. And the problem is that we do things and expect a particular outcome, or and then inside of us sometimes resentment is being built, and we have to catch ourselves when we're performing so we can stop performing, so we can be authentic, and then letting the chips fall where they may. And I'll talk about it in the codependency video, like where it starts from. And I have talked about codependency before on this channel, but I need to do another one. And so, yes, I do have content for you guys. I do have things that I'm working on. I see your comments. I want to create videos based off of some of the comments you've left me. I truly appreciate you giving me any of your time. Like, even the fact that you would give me 5 minutes out of your day, 30 minutes out of your day to listen to one of my videos, to comment, to to all of that different stuff. Honestly, God bless you. Thank you so much. And I haven't forgotten you. And when I redecorate, maybe I will do a video like showing you where, where I went and what I did and all this stuff. I've checked out everywhere now at this point. Ashley's Furniture, Living Spaces, Rent a Center, Aaron's, CB2, West Elm. Everything is back ordered in terms of furniture. So it's hard for me to record if I don't feel comfortable. But I'm kind of liking this setup against the wall here, So maybe I will stop being so high maintenance and just get up against the wall one day and just start talking. Again, if you have any video ideas, please leave it down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be in touch with you soon. I love you. I hope you're having a blessed day. Bye.